Volleyball trends, we are talking about how to become a competitor. What does a competitor look like? What are some key characteristics? Brian, what's kind of the scope?
Well, I think there's a lot of different types of competitors. As I work with more and more athletes, I feel like we're always trying to mold individuals into being the best type of competitors they can be. But I do think there are some themes that work best for a majority of players that we've seen, whether you're really aggressive and external, you give off a lot of energy, or we could have this idea of being a or relaxed concentration, meaning you come off as very calm, but internally you're trying to get after it a lot. Or there's something in between there. But I think there's some different types of competitors that we're trying to develop our players as or ourselves as.
Yeah, I think there's a big thing that kind of hits home for me. It's we're trying to make a kid who has their very own journey, their very own characteristics. We're trying to make them into something. Where I go with that is we have to give them tools and understanding so that they can mold themselves and they can progress given their situation. I call it the athlete biome, where you just imagine you're a flower in the Northeast and you're planted in the Southwest. Like it's completely different. And so a player who's trying to learn a different environment, they might not match with the arid desert, right? So you're being put into a soil. Maybe the soil's contaminated. Maybe it doesn't rain as much. Maybe you're not getting in all this information that's the sun and the clouds. In all this information that's the sun and the clouds. It's a far off concept, or like it's a lot. But I think what players need to know in order to be a great competitor is that so much is going on, but it's really based on the individual.
Yeah, that's really good. So what do we feel like is like some of the first steps into finding ourselves as a competitor? I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. Is it just on me? Is it for my coaches to help me figure out? How do I kind of go about figuring out what type of competitor I want to be?
I go back, and this is a fun topic that I don't know the answer. So if you know some more stuff, please feel throw a comment in here. But it all starts with fun, right? Like creating this environment where you're in and you're engaged. It's really hard to be a competitor at knitting if you're not like a knitter. Like if you want to be a great player, you have to have fun. And then through that, you develop a passion that then all that working hard and the competition comes from that passion. But I think a lot of players maybe are thrown in because their parents played the game and it's like, hey, go play baseball or go play basketball. And they're like, baseball's boring for me, right? Baseball's amazing for that player. I love the fast twitch of the volleyball and I didn't love the running of the basketball, right? So like it's hard to find that passion. And then once you have that passion, then you can start competing. But I think a lot of coaches maybe think that a player's in here and they're automatically going to be competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. I always find myself having a lot of conversations with my kids, just asking them questions about what they're thinking about while they're playing. It reveals a lot of, are we scared? Are we nervous? Are we really hungry to go earn points? Are we still just trying to figure out if we're having fun doing this? And I think that reveals a lot for an individual, just asking them questions about how they're thinking and how they're feeling while they're playing, whether it's practice or matches.
I think that's genius, right? The amount that we tell kids versus the amount that we ask kids is like grossly improportional, right? Like you need to create more conversations, more pointed questions, and so that they can like start figuring out what their relationship with the sport is. Why aren't they competing at 2020, 23, 23? If you ask a question of like, hey, why are you here? Oh, my mom signed me up again.
Right.
You're not going to get 23, 23. I'm going to go for it and, hit someone in the face. Um, so are we asking questions? Are we asking the right questions to create this fuel to then throw it into that biome?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And then we can get probably more into the weeds of the type, are we the person that needs to go be aggressive and always want to get stuff done? Are we the one who wants to be relaxed and focused? But I think that's a really good point, maybe starting with why are we here? What are we thinking about most of the time while we're playing? And then we can kind of guide and help players figure out their journey into the best mental place for them on the court.
Yeah, like tennis is a great example, right? You have the racket smashers, and then you have like the poised people. Um, the poised people, if you want to take a small set of, Nadal, Djokovic, like they're pretty calm and they've been really great for a long time. So you want to lean into them. But then you also had the Tiger Woods who's like, oh, 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 oh. And Tiger said, like, I have all this emotion. I let it go, but then I don't let the next shot be impacted by that emotion. And I think I was that person, like the Tiger, where I had so much emotion running and passion and all that in a rally. And then if I hit the ball out, it would be swear word, swear word, swear word. But that allowed me to release it. And then I could come back and be like, cool, next ball. And people would be like, what's wrong with him? Like that's what I needed to create my my flow in the game. You're a little bit more calm and poised and you kind of see everything happening, but there's not as much like ripples for you. Um, and is one bad? Is one good? I don't know. I think it's up to the person, right?
Yeah, there's more than one way, as you just said. There's plenty of examples of great professionals that have done it both ways.
Yeah. So in order to be a competitor, like find your relationship with the sport, right? Is it for fun at a beer league sand volleyball? Or are you trying to, win at something or compete? Or for me, golf, like I'm competing against my learning and I'm trying to grow as a learner and feel whatever I talk to these kids when I'm doing all my sessions, like I want to know what they feel. Frustration that I'm not doing it, how much work am I putting in, how much I want it. So find your relationship with the sport or the activity that you're doing. And then through that, find who you are. And I think you'll over time understand kind of what you are as a competitor and who you are. And then that will kind of fuel your energy in the right direction.
Awesome. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think are some good qualities of competitors.